I can't even think of Reed Richards' dad's name now.
Mr. Richards?
Yeah, Agent Richards.
Dr. Richards?
No, he wasn't a doctor, actually.
Really?
I don't think so. I just think he was some Captain America-looking bastard. The other things that came out that we have read is JLA Rebirth, which is Justice League of America Rebirth.
Yes.
Which I loved. And
well, of course we loved it because the writer is Steve Orlando, who wrote Midnighter, and is still writing Midnighter.
Which JLA Rebirth is amazing, and it made me, because I haven't gone through comics with non-emo Lobo, and so now I'm in love with a giant alien who is amazing.
You haven't read anything of Lobo, have you? Nothing with Lobo in it.
Because remember, we tried to find it. We tried to find old back issues so that we could read old Lobo.
Right. I just wanted to try and find an old book. Because I was just interested, and they're all out of print, or they're $40 on Amazon or something. I'm like,
and so
I don't
want to fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, because the new 52 Lobo was some emo poetry loving douche.
Yeah, which of course Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps took care of that problem by leaving him in one of Larfleeze's
little canisters
so that he can't get out. So now we have old school badass Lobo who
the main
Batman tells him to sit down and he goes, "Nah, I think I'll stand."
But he did shut up.
But he still stayed standing.
So it's kind of I'll listen to you, but I'm going to do it in my own way.
And then he basically told Canary that if she keeps on wearing fishnets that me, you, and those fishnets.
Yeah, he's like, you, me, and those fishnets are going to battle it out. Because Canary is the leader of the group.
Is that how you're reading it? Is it Canary's going to be the leader? I know that he goes to Canary and he's like, I need someone like you.
Because she keeps it real.
Right, but he also kind of says the same thing with Vixen.
Yeah, well, he said that Vixen will be the one to keep them together.
Right.
Whereas Canary will be the one to lead this team.
Okay, well, Canary has the history of leading.
Yes.
And she led Justice League at some point in time, and I still haven't looked up that history.
And she was the leader of Birds of Prey, so she has leadership qualities, and she's probably the one most qualified to do it.
Yeah. The other part of that book that I really loved was, what's his neck? The little Adam.
Oh, the Adam?
Going through
Ryan
Wi-Fi
Choi?
stuff.
Yeah.
And coming out of Ray's cell phone.
Yeah.
He goes, what? Did you just come out of my cell phone?
As he's about to fall off a building.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. He's like, help me.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Is the Ray gay?
Oh, Ray gay?
Ray gay. Hey. No,
hey, man.
I just remember reading something in his dialogue about...
He's completely new from what I understand.
Oh yeah, brand new character.
Yeah.
There's, what else? Oh, Killer Frost. Killer Frost is on the team now.
Which...
Because she's gone through kind of a rehabilitation...
Of sorts.
Through Batman's supervision while she's in Belle Rev. So now she's a good guy-ish, maybe. We'll see how that...
Oh, Supervision. I'm like, you said Supervision, and I was like, dude, that's Marvel, man. Vision is in Marvel, bro.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I did. I went down that road. But I'm very excited for this title. And it's monthly.
And it's going to be about how the New 52 happened. They're going to be looking actively for Dr. Manhattan.
Sounds good.
So, I mean, that's kind of what he told him, really.
Yeah. Yeah. For the most part. Give or take.
Or he said there's something coming and we have to be prepared, and I need you.
But if you also read, was it Detective or Batman? It was Detective. Did you read Detective, the super-sized issue of Detective?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Well, at the end of that, it's kind of a flashback. And it's before all the stuff happens in the tower where Tim Drake goes, bye-bye.
Yeah.
He looks at Batman and he goes, you're making this team, you're making this team.
Who does?
Tim Drake looks at Batman and he goes, you have Justice League, you have, this team, this team, this team. He goes, why are you preparing for a war?
Oh, okay.
And so with the release of JLA, it plays directly into that. So, which is awesome.
Yeah, they really got their stuff together.
But then the problem I'm having right now with the continuity of the stories that are going on is because Batman is the Bane storyline, and Bane has captured, like Catwoman and Gordon and two others, Duke, and then one other person. I forget who it is. But Batman then goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and Superman has the 3 Robins on ice, or the 4 Robins on ice, or the 3 Robins on ice because Tim Drake is still
missing.
dead.
Yeah.
So like Todd, Grayson, and
Damian
are all on ice at the Fortress of Solitude.
Why?
Because Bane is hunting.
Oh, he's keeping them safe?
Yeah, that's how Batman is keeping them safe.
By freezing them in the Fortress of Solitude.
By keeping them on stasis in the Fortress of Solitude.
Holy
like, how
shit.
pissed is Jason Todd going to be?
Oh my god, he's going to be so mad.
Ongoing still is his story with
It's Red Hood and the Outlaws.
And then, of course, Nightwing is still ongoing. And Super Sons just started, and then so's Teen Titans is still going. So I just wish at some point in time comic books would just take a step back and, have all these different pieces going into it. Kind of like what I was talking about with Hickman writing stories.
Yeah.
And make the continuity equal across the whole thing. Where if you need to do a crossover, do a fun crossover.
Yeah.
But don't give me one storyline where Jason
They're
Todd...
on ice.
Right, where they're on ice, but then I'm reading about Dick Grayson's romantic, dealings in Bloodhaven, or Jason Todd hanging out with, Bizarro.
Yeah.
So don't give me 4 different storylines in the same time frame that, this one should be going on. So I just wish that comics would do that sometimes. I don't know. That's why I think some people get frustrated and overwhelmed with comics.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure.
But who knows? Who am I?
Another thing that was in my poll is Batwoman. They're doing another solo run for Batwoman, which is exciting.
And I forgot to pick my copy up, but go ahead. You're not going to spoil it.
It's basically kind of like... it's just the Rebirth one-shot. So the Rebirth one-shots are basically just it's like a previously on kind of thing, Is
this what I was talking about her being on an island and having to fight her way off the island? Yay, nay? No, maybe?
Yes and no, because they showed a glimpse of it. It's just like one big... Well, it's all like a question of... the issue begins and ends with a question.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Okay.
2K Kane, where are you going? And it shows her life of when her mom and her sister were kidnapped.
Okay.
And she saw her family get murdered, to her time at West Point, to her getting the boot from West Point, and like being like this drunk party girl with no direction because she's completely miserable. She's lost her passion was in the military because that's something her dad did, but now she lost that because of being a lesbian.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes up to where she is now of being Batwoman and has teamed up with Batman and the others. And then there's a panel that said soon, where she's kind of in a variation of the Batwoman suit, and she's leading what looks like her dad's army. That team who sacked the clock tower.
The detective.
Yes. It looks like she's leading them because she's not wearing the cowl anymore.
So she's just got her... There's no mask.
There's no mask. It's just her. It's just from the neck down is kind of like a weird kind of paramilitary version of her Batwoman suit. And they're like, orders, ma'am, or whatever. It's like she's leading them now.
But she's not.
Not now, but it says soon. So we're going to see what leads up to that throughout Batwoman. And then there was another thing where it's like and
it's Tynion too, so it's like...
Yeah.
So he has the power to make Detective go that way. I don't want to see Detective go that way.
Well,
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see her leave.
Well, we don't know the whole story. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe she's like infiltrating to take them out, or you don't know. But the last page, the panels are like splintered, and it's like different things that you will see throughout this issue or throughout this series. And one of those things is her sister's coming back.
Yeah, I don't know who her sister is.
Well, because you didn't read Batwoman Elegy like I did. This Batwoman first started off...
You say that and I'm like, what? I don't give a fuck.
Fuck you. Well, Batwoman started off as she was fighting like the paranormal crimes in Gotham, I guess.
Okay, so she was like John Constantine of Gotham.
Yeah, in a really...
In a weird way?
In a weird way, yes. And this cult showed up, and our leader's name was Alice, who was playing up the Alice in Wonderland thing. And she goes, sorry, freak, we already have a Alice in Wonderland themed villain in Gotham where you're going to have to go. Yeah, exactly. But turns out Alice is Beth, her sister.
Okay.
And that all happened way before the New 52, so...
Right on.
Yeah. So they're going to kind of continue on with that. And I cannot wait. I love Batwoman.
Yeah, I
Good
forgot
stuff.
to get my issue. But I feel like, part of me feels like I read part of that, or maybe I just saw it, like, through, like, the DC webpage or something, like them doing preview panels, or...
Probably, because I've seen a couple things on the internet, too. It's just, like, preview of Batwoman.
I think it might have been tied to that variant cover that I sent you.
Yeah, it might have been.
Might have been.
Might have been. Some independent news for all you fans. Sex Criminals is officially back.
Yeah.
Issue 16.
The whole reason I started reading comics in the first place is that this asshole across from me let me borrow some Sex Criminals, and I got addicted.
You're welcome. So that book is just... It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's crazy fun, and it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy. You have to have a different moral standing, I think, to read it. You can't be
You
like
have
your
to have-
church-going type that goes, I like holy things, unless you like, sticking dildos and holy things. Because this fucking comic is awesome, but it's filthy.
It's completely... It's really sex positive, and it's odd in some places oddly educational about
Really?
sex. Yeah. Well, in one of the issues, the Robert Rainbow, the OBGYN, was talking about contraceptives.
Okay.
In this panel, and I saw a thing online that someone commented on it. They're like, when a comic book in 8 panels teaches you more about contraceptives than public schools.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really...
That doesn't
It's
mean you
just
should give this
cheeky
book
fun.
to your 14-year-old, but...
I would.
Well, that's why you don't have kids.
Well, among other reasons.
Oh,
I don't like them being one of them.
Hey, you don't mind kids. You're good with kids.
I mean, if they're, like, older, like your daughter's age, like, she's fine, because I can actually communicate with her.
Have a conversation with it.
Right.
With it.
With it. If, like, little 3-year-olds, I'm like, I don't... Just pat you on the head and send you off. Goodbye.
Do you want a pudding? Leave.
I'll give you $1 if you stay quiet.
Let's play a game.
Bribing
Who can
children.
Stay the quietest the longest.
But yeah, that was basically it was just Batwoman, Sex Criminals,
JLA, and then I read Wildstorm.
Yeah,
which you have to read.
Yeah, I didn't get my issue of that, so we both kind of missed an issue while we were up there.
Wildstorm's interesting, man. It's Warren Ellis, and he has like a countdown on the front cover of Wildstorm, and it says Wildstorm, and then it has 1 through I think 26 or something like that.
Yeah, I saw
and so
that.
1 is circled or 1 is highlighted.
Yeah.
as being the active issue that you're currently reading.
So it's going to go for 26 issues, I'm assuming.
Unless Warren Ellis gets bored, and it goes for 6 issues.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then we never hear from it again.
But then again, it doesn't always have to be Warren Ellis. I mean, they could easily get a different writer.
Yeah, I guess.
And
It's laid out... Okay, so like your modern comics now, they are jigsawed together, it seems like at times, where you have a box, and then it's almost free-floating on a background with the page, and then you have to follow it. You kind of go from left to right, up to down, following the conversation or the dialogue bubbles where they go.
Or the action sequences.
Or the action sequences, depending on, the kind of comic it is. Wildstorm is a 6-panel format, where every page is 6 panels.
Okay.
Every page has 6 boxes, and it is very regimented. And this is what's next. This is what's next. This is what's next. This is what's next. The art is very good, given the fact that they are small panels or small squares.
Yeah.
It's very easy to follow, but it's not like a comic book that I have no basis. I don't know anything about if Wildstorm was something before this, if it was anything before